Do you ever wonder what happens to used bottle caps since they're not going to the landfills or the recycling? Well, we've just found what Hooked on Recycling is doing with them. Please welcome Norm Price. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So this is amazing. This is a beer cap folded in half and made into a fishing lure.
That is correct.
Tell us more about this. Where did this come from?
Years ago, I used to work in the bar industry as well as I worked for Alberta Fish and Wildlife. And I seen how many bottle caps are tossed into campfires, lakes, rivers, streams, as well as go into the trash system with bars, pubs, and restaurants.
Yeah.
Now, we had found a lot of decomposed birds that had tons of bottle caps inside their bellies that died of starvation from eating them mixed in with food and stuff from restaurants and stuff that had been discarding them.
Yeah.
So I came up with the idea of, by fluke, of turning the bottle caps into fishing lures at a tackle shop I owned one day. And I put one together and had a friend bet me that they wouldn't catch fish, and 10 minutes later he owed me $50 for a bet that he lost.
Wow. So now you have many different kinds here. I'm just going to flip up. We've got one for Canada Day. And we've got Ducks Unlimited. So you are doing these for so many other groups.
Yes.
How did this happen?
Well, I originally started using beer caps, and I had pitched the idea to Molson back in the day, and they came to me asking if I'd give them an exclusive deal. I declined it. Right after declining that, this was back in Sherbrooke, Quebec, I got a legal threat from Molson threatening to take me to court over me using their bottle caps without permission. After that aired on CTV National News, I got a call from a lady that said, "Mr. Price, what's going on with Molson?" I said, "Well, they told me to cease and desist making fishing lures using their bottle caps." She's like, "Really? Can you send me a copy of that?" I said, "Well, who am I speaking to?" She said, "Mr. Price, my name is Rona Ambrose. I'm the Environmental Minister of Canada."
Oh.
So she kind of seen the position I was in, and she sent me a letter stating that if Molson was going to take legal action against me, she was going to hold them responsible for one of the biggest cleanup programs Canada's ever seen, because they had started exhuming these from landfill sites immediately. And I sent that letter back to Molson and Coors down in Denver, Colorado, and they bowed right out. They said, "They're not our bottle caps, they belong to the consumers." So it was lucky for me because I didn't have to spend all that money, wasting money going through the courts and the legal battles and stuff.
So when did you start this?
I originally started it back in 1989.
Wow.
And I started in Calgary, made front page of the Calgary Herald, front page of the Edmonton Examiner, and then I started collecting the bottle caps because just so the public knows, not every bottle cap is turned into a fishing lure. It's theoretically impossible.
Yeah.
There's billions of these going into landfill sites across Canada every year.
Yeah.
So we came up with the idea that we're going to donate a certain amount of money to Hooked on Recycling, which is a nonprofit organization funding the program, since we're non-government funded and we don't have many sponsors at this point.
It's amazing. How long does it take to, I mean, I don't know how many you have going, but to manufacture something like this?
With the help of Saskability, we're actually doing really well. We can actually, we've got a good team down at Saskability that is people with disabilities, both mentally and physically disabled, and they're helping us put these together. So roughly it takes sometimes a minute to build one for some of them.
Isn't that amazing? I love Saskabilities. I use them all the time for doing different projects like this. That is a great choice. So other than you, is there anyone else working on this project with you?
Well, we're currently looking for different organizations out there. We've had a full body wrap done on my van, sponsored by Farmer Direct Co-op.
Oh.
They sponsored the wrap on their van. We've had Cypress here locally had ordered a bunch of lures too to show their support. And we've got more and more coming out of the woodworks. Soon I'm going to have one of the biggest fishing contests Saskatchewan's ever seen, maybe Canada and US wide.
Wow.
We're going to pull together 28 sponsors and actually host a $1 million fishing contest to kind of help us spin the 150th anniversary of Calgary, Canada off. And this is a year of the cap. Like, we plan on recycling Canada-wide by the end of the year.
And you can custom print these if I wanted my own name on some of these?
We can actually have these say Hooked on Access, Hooked on Joe's Plumbing, almost anything.
Very cool.
And now each time that we actually segregate a new brand, that qualifies for the Battle of the Brands fishing contest because it's a new brand of bottle cap lure.
I love it. Well, we're out of time, but thank you so much for joining us and doing such a good thing for our environment.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, well, that is Norm Price, and we are talking Hooked on Recycling.